This is your Thursday live show with Guys at the Bar Talking Sports.
What? Are you doing season 2 of that stupid show?
Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
It's your boy, Hanger, looking for a beer. Actually, we're all looking for a beer, so if you want to buy the guys a beer, at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports on Venmo. That's it. Easy as drinking a beer. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, how can I help these guys out? Well, first thing you can do, subscribe to the show. By subscribing to the show, you'll be able to hear it every single week on your favorite podcatcher. Second thing you do, if your podcatcher lets you do it, give it a review and 5 stars. I know Apple Podcasts will allow you to do that. So give it 5 stars and a review. And then the third thing you do is hop on Facebook, type in Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. You'll see our group there. Join it. You'll love it. Best sports group on Facebook, guaranteed. Lots of good stuff going on in there, so check it out. And then come back next week for Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. This is the show where guys get together to talk about sports so that their wives think that they're doing something productive when they're drinking at the bar. But we're not. We're just drinking at the bar, and we're recording a damn podcast. So here we are. I feel like I have a new crew tonight. You know what I mean, Chief? Because we have not had my man Chopper here.
It's new and improved.
We haven't had my man Chopper here in like 2 months.
Like 2 years.
He's too busy playing soccer and taking kids to soccer. But you know what? Glad to have you back, man. What are you drinking?
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Ooh, that's good stuff right there. I didn't know they had that here. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah.
So it's not an IPA then?
No, the IPA keg blew, so they replaced it with that.
You got stuck with some pale ale. My man, the Chief. What are you drinking, Chief?
I'm having my usual ginger and lime.
Nice.
And I'm using my special The Chief cup that says Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, and you can put a lid on it so it keeps it fresh in between shows.
Nice.
Do you need an umbrella?
He needs an umbrella. So
no, just to keep the sun off the drink, maybe.
All right.
We've missed you for 2 weeks as well. We've been looking for stats, and we have nobody to help us out.
Well, I'm back tonight. I'm ready.
All right, and we got the Chief's daughter here.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what we're gonna call you though. The Chief's daughter. We'll just call her the Chief's daughter. That'll be her nickname, since no one goes by their real names. What are you drinking, Chief's daughter?
I'm drinking the same as my dad.
All right, nice. And you're a Clemson student?
I am.
Oh, no. The worst year to go to Clemson, the year that their football team sucks.
Hey, if our off season is 10-3, I'm not mad. 9-3 maybe?
9-3, that's
I'm not mad about it.
That's true. I agree. Okay, we'll go with that because they
Okay,
started off slow and then they kind of
they lost to Georgia.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you.
Which Georgia has an amazing defense, and that was expected, especially.
And they held Georgia to no offensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Georgia's lowest scoring game too?
I believe.
Oh
so.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, 10 points. Good point. Yeah, they didn't figure. Neither team figured out their quarterback situation by then. Georgia finally figured out their quarterback situation about week 4, where I don't think Clemson figured out their quarterback situation until about week 10.
Yeah.
Maybe at best, because that's when ukulele or whatever
He got
started
better
to
every
do
game.
a little bit better. Yeah.
The last 3 games, he was rocking.
But it took a while. Okay, we got our woman Cheeks back. It's been at least 3 weeks or 4 weeks since you've been on the show. Everyone's been missing your beautiful voice, Cheeks.
Oh, thank you.
What are you drinking?
I decided to be a rebel tonight, and I'm drinking Pinot Grigio in the winter.
Wow.
Not even a
I
red
thought
wine.
you were supposed to drink red wine in the winter.
I know, and I'm drinking a Pinot Grigio instead.
Were you drinking, or were you eating fish for dinner or something?
No, I'm eating French fries.
Okay, there you
It
go.
goes great with French fries.
All right, so we have an original member of the show. I think you were on the show from the second show that we did.
I believe so.
And he started off, his nickname was Crazy K. I don't know how he came up with that. Or Crazy, that was it. Crazy. And then it changed to The Dude.
The Dude.
What are you drinking, The Dude?
So I just asked the bartender to give me whatever, and I think I started off with some kind of grapefruit beer.
Gross.
So I'm gonna switch. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I get a new beer.
It's
Because I can't. I just can't.
Hey, you want to know the great news about that grapefruit beer? It is 2.5% alcohol. Basically, your body can flush the alcohol faster than you can drink it.
I'm basically drinking grapefruit juice.
Yes.
With a splash of beer.
It sounds absolutely disgusting. And if I was the bartender, the last thing I would do when someone says, just give me something,
Anthony probably
made her give it.
Yeah, he's like,
And
if
he was
anybody
like-
asks for
He's like, hey, we need to push this. We got to get rid of it.
Push this stuff out. She gets paid a commission for every one she sells. That's what they're doing. So, my man, The Dude, came in and specifically, we flew him in for the Army-Navy game because he is an Army
Beat Navy.
grad. Beat Navy. We flew him in specifically for it, besides the fact that there's a military base in Colombia and he's here for training. But that's neither here nor there. We actually flew him in for this thing.
Okay. Wait, we'll have to see his travel voucher to know that for sure.
Yeah. Because we have a huge budget at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Huge.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you for the invite. Appreciate the per diem.
Hey, no problem. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. So, this Saturday is the Heisman. I don't know what they call it. What do they call it? The Heisman.
Sunday when they announce
Is it Sunday when they
Sunday
announce
at
it?
8 o'clock they announce it.
Okay, so it's just a whole weekend event, and then on Sunday they're actually doing the Heisman. So, who's going to win the Heisman? That's the big. That's the big question.
I think it's the Heisman.
The Heisman.
That's something else.
That is a Freudian
Ray,
slip.
talk to your wife when you get home.
All right.
Ray wins that every time.
I do, yeah. All right.
I would
So-
call them out on that.
Alabama has their star, Bryce Young.
Yep.
He pretty much headlines the four finalists, I would say. Michigan's Aiden Hutchinson, Pittsburgh's Kenny Pickett, Ohio State's CJ Stroud rounds out that group. The winner will be announced Saturday at 8 p.m. according to ESPN.
Oh, I just looked it up with the odds, but
Okay, well,
sorry.
hopefully
I
one
could
of
be
us will be
wrong.
right. Whoever's right has to buy. Whoever's right, they're
Has
wrong.
to buy the beer for the other person.
There you go.
All right,
That's the
all right,
deal.
I'll do it.
All right.
I'll do it.
We're
Your beer is way
gonna
bigger
make
than
lots
mine.
of bets tonight about stuff. There we go.
Yes.
So this year
My pick.
there isn't a player who admittedly stood out as the Heisman Trophy, like the person that's going to win the Heisman Trophy. I don't think. Originally, you had a lot of different people that were talked about.
Yeah.
Michigan State's running back, what's his name? I can't remember his name off the top of my head because I'm really bad with names. But Michigan State had their running back. Kenneth something the third.
Yeah, hang on, I got it
Kenneth
right.
Walker the third. That's
Yep.
it. So you had Kenneth Walker
You
the
did
third, who was looked at as a Heisman Trophy, front runner pretty much all season. He put
And he
five.
was strong. 1,646 rushing yards, 18 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, 5 against Michigan. I mean, insane, but then he got shut out against Ohio State pretty much. So I think he had 67 yards against Ohio State, and that kind of
I don't even think it was that many.
yeah, it was low. It might have been 62, I'm not sure, but it was in the 60s. But whatever that number is, like that kind of killed it for him. You had North Carolina's quarterback that was looked at as Sam Howell.
Matt Corral at Ole Miss.
Yeah, you had a lot of people that were looked at as those, because I think we did a show on this in the beginning of the season, and there was probably, I don't know, I would say about 10 or 15 people, 10 people on that list by
I
that
think
point.
the only person who was on that list, or the only two who were on the Final Four who may have been mentioned at the beginning of the season, were Bryce Young and CJ Stroud.
For sure, and C.J. Stroud didn't even start the first game for Ohio State. And then it was Ripper that brought it up that C.J. Stroud was going to be a beast.
Yep.
And we were all like, he a freshman? I didn't see that happen.
And he led the nation in the quarterback rating, too.
Yep.
89.6.
Yeah, he's number one.
Yeah.
He's according to that, he's the number one quarterback in the
my
country.
pick for the Heisman, although I know he's not going to get it.
Right.
He's my pick.
So the only reason why I don't think he's going to get it is because
Alabama.
Ohio State lost to Michigan.
And Oregon.
And Oregon.
Yes.
They're not in the Big Ten championship game. They did not win the championship. And they're going to the Rose Bowl, but they're not going to be, they're ranked number 8 or something like that?
Yeah. So here's a comparison of Stroud, the freshman, to Bryce Young. Stroud threw for 3,862 yards. He had 38 touchdowns. And he was the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. And this is Bryce Young. 43-22 passing. So about 400 yards more passing. 46 touchdowns. And 3 of his touchdowns were on the ground. And Bryce,
he had 43 passing and 3 running on his own,
Right. And Bryce Young was 68% of pass completions. That's strong. All at the end of the season, that's a strong stat.
Especially in the SEC, my man Chopper, who the SEC has a lot more challenges against him playing on defense than,
He only threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
All season.
Think about the Georgia-Alabama game. They put up a ton of yards against Georgia, who on average, we were putting about 220 yards on them per game. That was it. And they put up over 400 yards, almost 500.
Bryce Young threw for 421 yards against Alabama.
Wow. Yeah, not only does he have good stats, but he also has the best moment at the right time.
Yep.
And that matters.
All the puzzle pieces are there for him.
That matters.
The memory that you have right now is Bryce Young beating Georgia. You do not have C.J. Stroud losing to Michigan.
But the other 2 contenders are still worth talking about. Kenny Pickett, he threw 43 touchdown passes, which is an ACC record.
And they won the ACC championship.
Yep. He had 4,319 passing yards. So he was 3 passing yards less than Bryce Young on the season.
Yeah. And he can fake slide.
42 touchdown passes.
He can fake slide. I mean, that's a big deal.
And his completion rate is 0.08% less than Bryce Young's.
Oh, wow. So what is this
ACC
percentage?
title, most touchdowns in Pitt history. He had more than Dan Marino.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, it's the ACC. He wasn't playing against, he wasn't playing the SEC, he wasn't playing the Big Ten, he was playing in the ACC, which overall was mediocre this year. Even though they were good, they didn't have the same level of competition.
In any other year, what do they have, 2 losses at Pitt? I think they were 10-2.
I think so.
Yeah. In any other year, I don't know. In any year, a 10-2 team is not going to make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, only 2 losses.
They did have,
And it was Clemson and...
No, they beat Clemson.
No, they beat Clemson.
Yeah, I think they lost to North Carolina.
North Carolina State.
It was
Western Michigan.
Oh, that's right. The beginning of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, that was their first game, I think.
Yeah.
And then they also lost to NC State, was it?
NC State. They didn't lose to North Carolina.
Yeah, so you wish they would have lost to North Carolina.
I wish that.
That was not North Carolina's season, because we were talking about Sam Howell in the beginning of the season.
And you got to feel bad for Sam Howell. That guy, if he had been playing for Ohio State or Michigan or Alabama or even Ole Miss instead of North Carolina, he might have been amazing.
Yeah, I think absolutely, because the last 3 seasons, Sam Howell just had beasts of years, and then this season he was like 2,800 yards passing, and that's it. But the last year was over 3,500. I think it was 3,800 yards passing. So, Aiden Hutchinson, let's talk about him. He plays at Michigan. He's a linebacker.
The only defensive guy in the running.
And he's the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Yep. So remember, C.J. Stroud's the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Hutchinson is the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He had 58 tackles and 14 sacks. He was number 2 in the entire FBS in sacks. Against OSU, and I thought this was telling, 7 tackles with 3 sacks in the OSU game.
First Heisman Trophy candidate at Michigan since Charles Woodson in
Of the
1997.
Raiders, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up.
Also defensive.
Yeah. Huge opportunity to make a statement as a defensive player. He's not going to get it, but it's good that he's sitting in that seat.
Yep. Will
it's tough against quarterbacks. It's always tough against quarterbacks.
It is.
Quarterbacks are always favored.
Quarterback has the ball every play.
Yep.
Except when you're Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
True story.
Will Anderson Jr. at Alabama could have been in there too. He had 32.5 tackles for loss and 15.5 sacks.
Wow.
And he's playing for Alabama. He didn't make the cut, but...
That's right, yeah. I think I saw a similar story about that as well, because he was looking like, I don't know, but I think Aiden Hutchinson just had a huge leadership part on the team as well, and Michigan's going to, I mean, this is the first time Michigan's been decent.
Michigan's playing Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be big. So
in the odds?
What? Oh, the odds. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Favored is Alabama. Of course, Bryce is favored.
So Bryce Young is favored to win the Heisman.
So who do you think is number 2?
It's got to be C.J. Stroud.
It's Hutchinson and Pickett.
It's Hutchinson.
Really? Oh, because of the yards that he put up, though. Because he has over 4,000 yards of offense.
And Pickett is 3rd, and then C.J. Stroud is 4th.
Because of the yards that they put up, it's got to be QB ratings and stuff like. But C.J. Stroud's number 1 in the quarterback rating, I think.
Yes.
So
98.6. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean 89.6. Excuse my dude.
The dude.
Is that a radio station?
How's that quesadilla?
It's pretty good.
And you got a new beer.
I did. I got an IPA. So much better than the grapefruit beer.
You needed to get a really strong IPA so you can make up for that 2.5% alcohol.
That's something.
Other IPA, right? So, who do you think's going to win the Heisman then? Have you been following that enough?
I haven't.
Okay. Just say Bryce Young.
You know, it might be Young. I'm going to go ahead and go with Young.
Yeah, I mean,
good call.
I don't see any reason why he wouldn't get it. He has the most yards. He's just a dynamite quarterback, and he's obviously going to be probably in the national championship game.
Yes.
And that kind of leads us to the next topic, which we did not have Rookie DC here to do the transition.
Rookie, he just left.
Alabama plays Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl,
which is at 3:30 on New Year's Day.
New Year's Eve, isn't it?
New Year's Eve, that's right.
3:30 New Year's Eve. Yeah.
And who's favored?
So
who's favored?
Why are they doing football games on New Year's Eve? This drives me crazy because most of the time people are partying on New Year's Eve.
Well, it's at 3:30 in the afternoon.
But then the next game's on
pregame at 7:30 at night. That's the game that you're gonna miss.
Yeah.
But
it'll be on. It'll be on in the bars. It'll be on in the venues. Whoever's hosting a party will have it on. But it's not going to be a game you're going to sit and watch.
Gotcha.
Because you're going to be dressed up.
Yeah, that's true. So
I don't know what part you're going to.
I'm going to be sitting at home on New Year's Eve.
There you go. So I'm
doing nothing. You know?
I mean, watching football, evidently.
I'm too old for that. All that partying stuff.
Yeah.
But
broke down.
I know in Clemson they're going to be partying hard, I'm sure, right?
Hey, I'll still be home.
All right, good deal. So, but Cotton Bowl, we got Luke Fickell and the Cincinnati Bearcats playing against Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I would love to see
other than Notre Dame, and Notre Dame was good this year, but Notre Dame is not a top 2 SEC school.
No, I think that Cincinnati definitely had their place in the top 4 this season, and I've been against them the whole season.
Yes, you have.
But the next best team in the ranking was Notre Dame, and like you said,
and they beat them.
Cincinnati lost to Notre Dame.
But Cincinnati beat Navy by 7 points and almost lost that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I think the game is going to be a little more like the Iron Bowl. To be quite honest with you, I think Cincinnati is going to sneak up on Alabama and play them a close game, and Alabama's going to win at the end.
I would say.
I really do.
Now, I think if Auburn played Cincinnati, it would be a spanking. I think it's going to be a
bowl
spanking.
Games are funny though. It's like who are you getting up for, and who are you playing? And I don't know. I think it's going to be closer than we think.
I'm going to go with Cincinnati on this one.
Are you?
Why are you doing that?
I would love that.
Because you can?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with straight for proximity. I live in Louisville now. It's 2 hours away.
So
now I got to root for Cincinnati.
Okay. But do you
I mean, Cincinnati is basically Northern Kentucky.
But do you think
basically?
That's what they say when you land there.
Because the Cincinnati airport is in Kentucky.
That's correct.
Do you think that Cincinnati can beat Alabama, though?
Yes.
With the power that that Alabama team has now, they are going to be without John Mitchell III, and they're going to be without Josh Cobb, who's like their cornerback. That's two of the best players that they have are going to be gone.
But they've also lost their momentum.
But who, Alabama?
Yes.
Yeah, they just beat Georgia.
Yeah.
By a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when are they playing again?
Huh?
And when are they playing again?
Yeah, okay, so they lost their momentum by having 3 or 4 weeks off.
Right.
That's true.
So everybody's starting fresh.
But so is Cincinnati.
Right.
The difference is everybody's telling Alabama, "Oh, you're going to destroy Cincinnati."
Right.
The difference is
They're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder.
With Georgia was they were
Goliath.
saying that Georgia was going to beat them, and they were like, "Oh no, you're not." You know, so it's
Totally
going to be
a David
different.
and
It's going to be a
Goliath.
totally different game.
This is the same conversation we have when Alabama is playing Notre Dame and blows them out, and every other time that there's another, like Oregon plays so-and-so and they get blown out, or Oklahoma plays so-and-so and they get blown out.
Cincinnati's being told they're going to get blown out by Alabama. Cincinnati's going to show up and play.
And
They're going to
Alabama's
show up and play, but
Guarantee it.
Alabama's not. Alabama goes to second string in the second half in many, many games, except when it's close.
Yeah.
And if Cincy is even on the board with 2 touchdowns, Alabama's going to be just pounding.
I think these guys are going to play with a chip on their shoulder. Give them a run for the money.
Cincinnati has the number 7 defense in the country, by the way, while Alabama has number 8 defense in the country. But the difference between these two defenses is Alabama's playing Ole Miss, Alabama's playing Texas A&M, Alabama's playing Georgia, whereas Cincinnati is playing
SMU, Navy.
Yeah,
I'm trying. They played Notre Dame. Oh yeah, we mentioned that.
But they're playing Toledo.
Yeah,
they're playing teams that don't have good offenses anyway.
Think about it. Alabama, almost everybody they played was in the top 25 this year.
At some point.
Almost everybody.
Yeah. Whereas Cincinnati, 2 teams that they play, or 3 teams that they play were in the top 25 at some point, and that's it. So it's a different ranked number 7. It's easy to be ranked number 7 when everyone you play is a cupcake. Whereas Alabama, it's tough to be ranked number 8 when everyone you play is pretty badass.
Yep.
You know?
Clemson knows about that.
Clemson knows all about that, yeah. They lose to teams without even scoring they didn't even give up a touchdown, though, except for on defense, right? So.
Speaking of Clemson, aren't you excited for next year?
Why are we dissing Clemson?
Well, I think it's interesting because they're going to have to replace their whole coaching staff, it looks like.
It looks like it, yeah. But
except for Dabo.
I don't see Dabo having a problem recruiting people to come coach.
No.
Yeah, that's a great
But they
place
have to be
coach,
cohesive.
Yeah.
These are all people that have been around each other for a while. Now you're getting all these people in that have to learn how to work with one
So
another.
now he's going to have Saban's problem, which is an entirely new staff every season. And I think that if Dabo can recreate what Saban does, he might have another.
Could.
Yeah, and you're going to have pretty much a veteran team next
Is
season.
Dabo Saban?
Dabo is.
Dabo builds a lot of loyalty.
I would say Dabo has a charisma about him that attracts people to him.
Okay.
Do you agree?
He's a good people personality.
He's a real good
I'll let you
people
know
person.
2 games in next year, okay?
We're gonna have this conversation the first week before football, anyway. So
Yeah.
All right, well,
tune in to season 3, guys. The Bar Talking Sports.
Yeah.
We'll be there. All
All
right.
right, the second game, 7:30 kickoff Eastern.
Hold on. Who's winning this game? Chopper. Who's winning?
Alabama.
Cheeks.
In a very close game.
Cheeks. Who's winning?
Alabama.
Chief.
Alabama.
Chief's daughter.
Alabama.
The dude.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Oh.
Gotta stick with it. Bama's I mean, come on, it's Alabama.
Hey,
other than football, what does Alabama have?
Basketball.
I mean, I live in Kentucky right now.
Moonshine. Oh, you have moonshine too.
Yeah, bourbon.
They do. I'm going with Alabama on this one too.
Tell you what, dude, if Cincinnati wins, I will buy you a beer right here at this bar.
Yes, you just have to make it over here.
If Cincinnati wins,
Right.
I'll send you a beer.
If Cincinnati,
An IPA.
if Cincinnati wins, then I'll host all of you at my house when we get to March Madness and UK is playing.
Wow.
There we go. You know that the blonde will come. And
Well, she lives closer.
The blonde sister.
Oh, her
will
sister.
come.
Yes, right.
The blonde and the blonde sister will be at your house. Okay. Well, we won't say anything more about that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
What? You don't want to talk about this? Okay, I'm just kidding.
No,
The Orange
Sports
Bowl,
show.
Miami, Florida, baby. Nice stadium they got down there, by the way.
Nice. The weather's going to be decent.
It was a dump back in the old days, but now it's a nice place to play. It looks like to me.
Miami? No, nobody goes to those games.
You don't think? Yeah.
No, it's Florida.
But when you got Michigan and you got Georgia playing in it, I think that,
Georgians will drive down. Michigan folks are going to be on that. They've already bought their tickets. They're going.
Yeah, Michigan.
They're just going to escape the weather.
Yeah. And by the way, go Big Blue.
This is a fan base at Michigan that has suffered for like how many years? Like it's been a long time since they've been on a national stage like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a fan base that is going to go to that game. They probably are going to. I don't know. Georgia's kind of used to being decent, I guess, but they've never actually made it. So that's been 40 years for them. So
I mean, think about it. Harbaugh beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten, and now he's on the national stage in the CFP. Those are all firsts in his coaching career at Michigan.
Which, to be honest, I mean, he's Michigan's favorite son, but he was starting to push his luck with not.
If he had
doing
lost
too
to
well.
Ohio State this year, I think it would have been over.
they hate. Look at Anthony, our owner of MJ's Bar and
I know, I
Grill,
was looking for him.
walking around with a pep in his step right now,
Yeah.
and all he can do is talk smack about Harbaugh the first 4 weeks of the season.
The first until the game.
By
until
week
we beat
5
Ohio State.
Yeah, well, by week 5, he was like, yeah, but you know what? By week 6, he was like, maybe there's some hope.
Well, no, and then Michigan State beat Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, yeah. And then everyone was like, fire the damn coach. And now he's a hero again.
Who wants to be the team that plays Georgia after they lose to Alabama in the SEC championship
Well, I don't
after
want
going
to. They're coming
undefeated?
back with a vengeance.
Not me.
I don't want to be up against that defense
That
for
game
the
is
life
gonna.
of me.
That game's gonna be ugly.
That defense, the defense got no sacks on Alabama. They're going to be coming after Michigan's offense.
It's going to be ugly.
It's going to be ugly. Georgia gives up 254 yards per game on average, but that average was like 200 yards per game until they played Alabama.
Yeah, Georgia's going to be ready.
Number 2 defense in the country, who's the number 1 defense in the country? Wisconsin. That's really strange,
Badgers.
right? Yeah. But, amazing, right? But Georgia has obviously the best defense in the country except for one game, and no one scored on them. Can Michigan score on Georgia?
Yeah.
They'll score.
They might not score a lot, but they will score.
7 points or what?
We'll see, man.
No, I think Michigan will score. I think Michigan will score 20.
You think they're going to score 20?
I think Michigan will score 20. I still think Georgia's going to win, but I think close game, like 24-20, 21-20, something like that.
Wow, okay. I kind of feel like Georgia's going to...
Oh, and Georgia's going to score at least one defensive touchdown.
So you're thinking that we're going to be in a situation where we have Alabama and Georgia rematch in the national championship game.
And if that happens, that's going to be an amazing rematch.
See, I'm against rematches. Just in principle, I don't. It's
wait
just
a minute.
wrong. It's just wrong. So one team beats the other one in their conference championship, and just because now we have a stupid playoff system, you get to rematch. I throw the red flag.
At the end of the day, the best two teams are the best two teams. And tell me if
there was
they're the best two teams.
No,
come on. No. We did World War I and World War II, right?
No. Rematches. No. I don't think we should allow them. I don't think we should allow them.
Wouldn't it be interesting if it was Cincinnati and Michigan in the national championship game?
No, nobody would
watch.
Who wants to watch that? Nobody.
the people that live between Cincinnati and Michigan.
No. The rest of the country would be like, yeah.
A half a million people.
The whole South, which is where almost all college football happens.
The state of Texas would be like, why aren't we having a national championship this year?
Everybody wants to see the rematch to see if Georgia can beat Alabama.
I think I want to see Michigan play Alabama.
That would also be a good game, but I still think it's going to be Georgia, but it would be a good game. I think Georgia's going into their game going, we have to beat Michigan so we can beat Alabama. We can't beat Alabama if we don't beat Michigan.
Oh, they're going to be so happy if they can get on that field and beat Alabama. And in rematches, it seems like, from historically when I watch rematch games, Florida versus Florida State back in 1996 or whatever it was, Florida State beats Florida in the regular season, and then they play in the national championship game, and Florida beats Florida State. I can't think of any exact other examples of that, but I know it's happened before where when there's a rematch, the other team seems to win.
So how many times did they play during the year? They just played once,
They just played once, yeah.
So if they play again in the national championship, then and Georgia wins, then Alabama can just be like, well, on any given day, something can happen. But we already beat them once, so we're still the better team.
Georgia gets the hats and the shirts, though.
Hey, which is a true story.
Right?
All these teams can be.
Now, if Alabama wins twice, then they can say, sorry.
We're the best. Yeah. We're the best, you're the worst, suck it. That's what you tell them.
That's kind of like a war.
Yeah. Okay. After this season is over with, do you think Clemson comes back to being a top-ranked team again next season?
Hell no.
Do you think we're back in the situation where... So right now we're in the situation where you got Michigan, Cincinnati, which are two teams that have never been in the top four. Georgia's in and out, but they've actually been in it. And Alabama's always in it. Do you think we're back to Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Ohio State again?
I think Ohio State, yes. C.J. Stroud's a freshman.
Yeah.
I think Clemson's still top 25. They're returning almost everybody. Alabama, it's Nick Saban. His recruiting's amazing, so yes. But you start looking at these other schools that are in and out on either out most of the time, like Cincinnati. How many people are they graduating? Case in point, Kenny Pickett, he's a senior.
Yeah.
He's a fifth-year senior. He got an extra year of eligibility. So Pittsburgh's going to suck next year.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So, obviously, if they're going to let an AAC team in this year, then they're going to be able to do it next year with an undefeated record as well. If Cincinnati goes undefeated again, which their coach is gone, I'm pretty sure Luke Fickell is gone somewhere by January,
I also think this 12-team playoff format, I've been reading about it. I'm excited. I'm hoping that they'll sign off on it. So it's the top 4 are in and they get a bye. Then you got the next 8 teams. 5 of them are Power 5 champions, unless they're in the top 4, and then it opens up another slot. Those 8 teams, 5 plays number 12, 6 plays number 11, and so on. So now you're down to 4 teams after that round, and now those 4 play against the top 4, and then down to 2 and down to 1.
So is it a 4-game playoff to the championship? The championship is the 4th game?
Right.
Yeah, that would be the 4th game, yeah.
So and it's good for the bowls because they're going and take some of those top bowls will now be part of that playoff.
So are they going to do it? Have they decided on 12, or are they going to go with 8 or 12 depending upon?
It's going to be. This is what the format is 12. But the bottom 8 have to play an extra game. Basically, the top 4 get a bye on the first round.
Do you think that's? I think this is great for college football.
I think it's amazing.
So I think it's great for college football's money making.
Well, I think it's great for college football fans because it's going to allow a team like Cincinnati.
It's more football. I don't think it's great for college football players. I mean, because they're already one game away from not even having an NFL career. Now you're adding extra games with higher stakes and just more chance to, I'm going to push through the injury, and these kids are going to get hurt.
They need to insure these kids for $10 million each.
They should have a career insurance policy like we have life insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. If they did that, if you make it in the playoffs, you get a $10 million policy on your health. So if you cannot play in the NFL, or if you get hurt, it's career ending.
All right. So here's what I like about 12 teams. And I see your point, dude. I absolutely do.
He's the dude, not just dude.
The dude. So what I like about this is with 12 teams, it means that the non-Power 5 schools that have there could be a couple of them, like a Notre Dame, they're going to at least get to play and maybe advance.
Yeah, for sure.
So we actually could see some schools who might not traditionally even have a chance because they're not the best they're ever getting is number 8, number 9 in the rankings.
Yeah.
Now we might get to see them, and depending on the right matchup and who said any given day earlier.
Which doesn't necessarily. I mean, if you do it like that and have those teams playing, and a team like a Notre Dame comes in and as a 9 seed and beats the 2 seed. I mean, it can happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're the better team, though, right? So are we really getting the best teams in college football into the playoffs?
But the good thing is
we're
that
getting the best teams in.
It gives those number 12, number 11 team the chance to beat a number 1 or number 2 team and show that they can. Maybe, as we know, any given day.
But beating them one game is not the same, and I will repeat, not the same, as going through an entire SEC schedule and gauntlet and winning an SEC championship. Not the same.
Yeah, but you've got to win 3 games against amazing teams
to make it even make it to the final.
But you could really, a team could come in and really screw somebody in one game and screw somebody up, right?
Or the best team in the SEC could have late season injuries and really tank.
I mean,
yeah, but they would tank if they were top 4 anyway.
Yeah. Right, or hey, in the second game, your second game of the playoffs, your star quarterback gets hurt. I mean,
yeah, you got to be ready for all those.
So I'm going to go old school here on this. Now I know I'm talking to all. You all have lived in the SEC forever, so you are used to having the best football teams. I get it, but from someone in the military who's lived all over the country, I'm going to go ahead and throw out on the table that we should do away with playoffs and let everybody argue around the country, just argue around a beer that my team was the best because we won our conference. I think that would be good for America. I think that would be good for, it might not be good for college football, but it would be good for America because you know what? The Pac-10 or Pac-12 or whatever they are now, they could argue, hey, my team's the best. I mean, I know all of you down here would say, yeah, but they're not in the SEC.
We all know that's not
but it would let people have pride in their because now there's no pride in conference championships anymore.
They can still say that.
Like
we
nobody.
Just know it's not true.
But there's no pride. Like conference championships don't even mean anything anymore.
I think you're an extremist.
Well, when he's
you're in the Army and you're an extremist.
That would have been a great segue.
Let's talk about something else that's good for America.
This is an extreme idea.
Let's talk about the Army-Navy game.
Yeah.
What is the big game this weekend going on?
Be Navy!
Army-Navy game.
Yep.
Who's going for Army?
Yo!
One person in the whole place. Who's
God.
going for Navy?
Woo!
Aye!
Die.
Army!
Yeah!
Navy!
Woo!
We got, man, this is amazing.
I can't believe it. We're in a town that has an Army base.
Yeah. Army!
Come on, hey!
Army!
Be Navy!
All right. Now we got at least a few people.
I'm going for the bubbleheads.
We only got one Navy person. We had a Navy person here earlier.
Yeah.
Army's favored by 7.5, but before you even start,
122nd edition of the
Yes.
Army-Navy game.
One of the oldest rivalries.
You know who the so it's tradition now, not every time, but it's tradition that the President of the United States attends the Army-Navy game.
Is he gonna?
You know who the first president to attend the Army-Navy game?
Who?
Teddy Roosevelt. That's the history of the game.
Yeah.
Because we go all the way back to Teddy Roosevelt.
1900.
And where was the game always played?
Philly.
Not always.
Not always.
It's not there this year either.
Oh, no. Well, they can't be because JFK Stadium doesn't exist. They tore it down after Live Aid in 1986.
So they're playing in West Point this year, right?
No, they're playing at East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
MetLife
It's the
Stadium.
fifth. It is the fifth meeting at that stadium in the last 20-some years.
After they stopped going to JFK, they visited other stadiums. JFK was the home of the game.
So it is neutral, and it's sort of halfway between the two.
Yeah.
It's the home of the Tasty Cake.
Navy has won 61 games to Army's 53. There's been 7 ties. I don't really care about the past, only what happens in the present.
So of the last 5, so Army won
Not
last
pretty.
year. Army won last year. Navy won the year before that. Army was 3 in a row before that, and Navy was.
We're overdue.
4 of the last 5 in the Army.
12, 13,
And then it was like-
Navy had won 14 years. So I remember I was in Germany when the Army finally broke the Navy streak. So
The 14 in a row, yeah.
So
I remember that.
I was a cadet my junior year. The last time that Army had beat Navy in 2001, and then my entire career for 13 years. We lost every year. Can you imagine those cadets year after year after year losing? And then so I was in Germany when we finally won. The chief of staff of the Army gave the entire Army the day off that Monday.
Wow.
Yeah. But now we're on a pretty good streak. 4 out of the last 5.
All right. So this year, Army's got a pretty good team. They're 8-3.
Going to a bowl.
And going to a bowl. Navy, on the other hand, 3-8.
Bad season for Navy.
But both teams run the triple option. They're both heavy runners. It's the over/under is 34.5.
So I mean that means that probably 20 to 17.
Probably.
Is probably what you're looking
Because
at.
they're both running offenses.
Army has the dominant running game. Army has 43 rushing touchdowns, and they've had more than 30 points in 9 of the last 11 games. And then you got to watch out for their outside linebacker Andre Carter on defense. He's number 2 in FBS sacks. Number 2. So
That's impressive.
Yeah, if you think about it, the service academies don't get the top football players because they want to go to Alabama and they want to go to the schools that are going to get them in the NFL. And when you go to Army, you kind of got to agree to do something in the Army afterwards.
But to be number 2 in sacks, that's
Number 2
pretty
in
darn
sacks
impressive,
in FBS.
Yeah.
Navy, on the other hand, is averaging 20.4 points per game. Their offense is not real strong, but this is what got me. Navy has less than 600 passing yards all season.
They're bad.
Total. Less than 600 passing yards all season.
Which means if they get behind in a game, they're probably done.
They're done.
There's no chance.
Yep.
Yeah, you cannot pass through the air and win the game at that point.
However, Navy has only lost 1 time in the past 5 games by more than 7.
So are you saying that they play like a drunken sailor?
So and historically, the Army-Navy games are usually close. They're usually close games, no matter how good or bad the team
it's a rivalry game.
Yeah, they're both going to be fighting for their country to win.
And don't forget, Navy only lost to Cincy by 1 touchdown, and that game, it looked like they might even win until the end.
Yeah, it came down to the last couple of minutes, I think.
How did Air Force do against both of these teams?
Air Force beat Navy.
Air Force beat Navy.
Army beat Air
Go Air
Force.
Force.
Ah.
So when Army wins, they're going to take the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
Right.
This will be interesting to see when Army wins.
If Army loses, they get the Commander-in-Chief's trophy too. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yep. It's
tiebreaker?
because Air Force beat Navy, and if Navy beats Army and Army beat Air Force, it stays with whoever won it last year, which is Army.
So is Joe Brandon going to go out and present this trophy? I mean, Joe Biden, sorry.
Joe Brandon.
I don't know if he's supposed to be at the game.
I don't know if he's supposed to be at the game.
He's not going to be at the game?
By the way,
they don't always attend.
The average
I thought you said they do always attend.
So the president who attended the most Army Navy games 7 out of 8 years was Truman.
Okay.
Right? Most of the presidents only do like 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
But Harry Truman was an Army grad, so that game's important to him. And Jimmy Carter was only one time in office, so.
Okay.
He was a Navy grad. Average margin in the game, 2.8 points.
Interesting.
So, in the whole series.
I'm thinking,
I'm thinking Army. I'm thinking it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I'm going with the dude, 2017, 2014, somewhere around there.
What do you got, man? What do you got?
I'm going Army all the way, man. I'm a total Army brat. Army all the way, man.
What's the score?
28-17.
28-17, okay.
High-scoring game.
Chief's daughter, what you got? Who's winning?
I mean, I'm not really into either team since Army already beat Air Force. I don't want them to win again since I am an Air Force daughter as well.
Okay.
So I gotta go Navy.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
I mean, the Navy, they do fly airplanes, right?
Well, if you call using a slingshot to get them in the air.
I'm going Army too because that's just a better team. They're 8-3. They have a strong offense, defensively, but still, Navy can't put up points as it is. So it's definitely going to be Army all the way. They're going to get, what is it going to be? 2 wins in a row?
It'll be 2 in a row.
2 or 6 wins out of the last 7 years. That'll be solid for them. Let's wrap it up. All right, so keep on coming back every week for more Guys in the Bar Talking
Sports!